But I think it's time well spent, though I'm not sure that my family would agree.
It seems to me unfortunate that this, quote, goblin man, unquote, should not have been left in situ. We may very well be looking here not only at simply an alien technology, but a non-human, non-earthly technology, about which we can know absolutely nothing.
I first read an article about the Goblin Man about 2.5 years ago in a Popular Technology magazine. And I was just amazed that this wasn't like in the mainstream news. My personal opinion is that it's part of a lost technology. And it wouldn't be unprecedented because there have been technologies that man has developed in the distant past that have become lost. For example, concrete. Concrete was invented by the Egyptians, and then through trial and error it was refined, and the Romans used it extensively. And then at the fall of the Roman Empire, the recipe for concrete was lost. And it wasn't until 1756 in England that it was rediscovered. I believe the Goblin Man is one of those very important technologies, and we will probably find ways of applying it. It will become useful again. So here are a few things that I've collected that are Goblin Man related. When it was on exhibit here in New York City, I got some brochures from the exhibit. Got a few of them. They were free. Why not? This was great. One of the other enthusiasts, I was able to get this artist's rendition made by an artist from the original pieces to illustrate the detail. I was able to acquire these great pictures, which were taken just after they had melted the block of ice off of the artifacts. This is presumably the head.
In close proximity to the goblin, the piece of technology, there was a shapely piece of stone on which were inscribed runic characters. My expertise is in things Old Norse and Old English, which I have been working on for many years. Needless to say, I was honored to be asked to provide a translation.
This is probably the most interesting thing. Not everybody knows about this. This is a rubbing from a stone that was found about a month after the discovery, very close to the site.
The stone with the runic engravings upon it has been separated, although it was in fact found later, but at the same site, has been separated from the technology as if the two things are not connected. Perhaps it wouldn't suit their purposes to have a doomsday message next to the exhibit, which is being touted as something absolutely amazing and wonderful.
There might be some interpretation here, but this is what I was able to get out of it. I, master of the runes, conceal here runes of power, incessantly plagued by maleficence. Doomed to insidious death is he who breaks this monument. I prophesy destruction.
Since the modern era began, we've begun to consider myths as connected to the human psyche, as a way of understanding our unconscious selves. This is the realm of Carl Jung, of course, who sees myths as emerging out of his understanding of a collective unconscious, a spiritus mundi into which we all tap.
The carbon dating had suggested that this was a truly astonishing discovery and had created international interest. I'd just like to remind those who would be skeptical or mocking that when Charles Darwin published his Origin of Species, he was mocked, vilified, criticized.
When I was watching that block of ice melt, of course, I was asking myself, who's this? Who could this possibly be? And the more I thought about it, the more I became enticed by the linkage to the Norse myths.
In Norse mythology, there is a major battle. It's called the Ragnarok, the end of the world, basically, where gods and men fight against the fates and lose. But as part of that battle, a great winter, Fimbulvetur, descends on the world. I'm fascinated by the fact that, for example, our current piece of amazing technology that's causing all these difficulties, for some folk anyway, is found in the ice.
There's this one fellow that I'm in contact with on a pretty regular basis who finds a recording. It predates the phonograph. It was a paper recording. And at the time the recording was made, there was no way of playing the recording back. But since then, we've developed technologies where we could take this image of these wavelengths and translate them into sounds. And I listen to it, and it adds to my confusion about exactly what the Goblin Man is. So I'm going to play for you the recording that I acquired that is supposedly the Goblin Man.